Hey everybody, it's Dr. Joanny Liu and welcome to this week's episode. I'm going to be talking about if you want to be a winner, if you really want to be a winner, you've got to have a short memory. And the reasons why are going to become very clear to you. So I'm just waiting for a few people to hop on and then we'll get started. So in the meantime, we just got through the shortest night of the year. The longest night of the year, the shortest day of the year. And from this point on, we're going to get more sunlight. Isn't that amazing? Okay, how the world works. So everything is always on the up and up. Always. Always on the up and up. And we have to look at the world like this. We always have to look at the world with rose-colored glasses, even though people think that we're being unrealistic, blah, blah, blah. Well, it's not their idea, it's ours, okay? So the thing is that being a winner, you have to have a short memory because we all make mistakes. That's the bottom line. We always make mistakes. We will always make mistakes. No matter how hard we try not to, we will always make mistakes. But those mistakes are for us to make so that we are tested and then we can go on, okay? So we make a mistake, we have to forget it, and we have to just keep forging onwards. So that's why to be a winner, we've got to stop mulling over the mistakes that we made, not have any regrets, and keep moving forward. So for instance, when I'm watching a football game, I'm telling my team, I'm thinking of my team, and when the offense is on, I'm telling them to get that first down. Always, okay? Even if they're not successful at doing it, I'm always telling them to do that. So I'm lending them my positive energy because I believe in them, okay? So when the defense is on the football field, what I'm doing is I tell them to get the ball back because so our offense can come back on the field. So I tell them to get the ball back. Now, of course, not in every instance is this going to work. But the thing is that positive frame of mind is always going to lead you to something much more constructive than just mulling over the bad things that just happened to us, okay? Because every time a quarterback throws an interception, okay, that's a bad thing. But the thing is that the next time he comes back on, hopefully he has forgotten that he's made that mistake and he's going to try even harder and focus even harder on what his job is supposed to be, which is to get in the hands of his receivers or his running back or whoever, okay? The point is always to move forward up the field. I mean, the thing is that sports are always a good analogy for life because they're always striving to go forward, always striving to put points up on the scoreboard. They are always striving to get better as the game progresses. And that's why we've got to live the same way. So winners will always have a very short memory of the mistakes that they make. And even after a touchdown, even after a field goal, it's time to go back and play the game in the moment again. Okay? So we can't dwell on those successes for too long either, but we should celebrate them. We should always celebrate our victories, our successes, and again, not dwell on them for too long because life goes on, but we are always striving to do the best that we can. So winners have short memories, and for good reason. Whether we're doing well or whether we're doing poorly, we have to forget our victories when the next step comes up. Okay? We have to forget our mistakes when the next step comes up, but we still have to celebrate each victory as they come because it's still important to make an acknowledgement that we did something right, that we did something good, that we did something that we really enjoy. Okay? So, that's why in the case of my crowdfunding campaign, Hope for Millions with Brain Injury, that's also very important too. I have to keep moving on. I have to keep believing in what I am doing. I have to keep moving that football up the field. And it's moving, okay? Little by little, stride by stride. My goal I'm striving, taking every step to get to that goal. And because I'm not giving up, because I never quit, okay? Because that's another thing about being a winner. You never quit until you have dug every hole, until you have exhausted every way possible to get to that goal, if it means enough to you. So in the case of your brain injury, you've got to use your mind. That's all there is to it. You have to use your mind. Because the mind is what leads the brain. The mind is what leads the body. So the brain doesn't know, it doesn't distinguish between what's real, so-called real, and what's in our mind. Okay? So if you have a great imagination, if you really want something and you can imagine it, it means you can have it. But you got to keep imagining it and building on that imagination, on that picture that you have in your mind. It's called focus. It's called concentration. You got to know why you want it. You got to know what it is that you want. But the thing is that you have to hold that thought in your mind. You got to imagine what it's going to feel like, what it looks like, how it's going to affect you, how it's going to affect your family, all the good things. Because really, a goal is about achieving. It's about accomplishing something. And that's what's so important about having a goal. So if you don't have a goal to begin with, then you're going to be floundering, you're going to be all over the place because you don't know what you really want. And if you really know what you want, then you got to know why you want it, okay? So that's the important thing that you have to keep in your memory. So your goal and why you want it are important, and what has to be in your memory. But if you've made any mistakes along the way, forget them, okay? Forget them. If there is a lesson to be learned about it, you'll probably get it right after, okay? But you've got to be open to it. So stop harboring the bad feelings, stop harboring the low self-esteem, and start building up self-confidence, and know that, okay, this was a setback, this was a minor circumstance, it's a temporary circumstance, I'm going to overcome this, and I'm heading straight for my goal, whether it's to be well, whether it's to kick that field goal, whether it's to score that touchdown. You can do it, okay? You can do it. And it's that can-do attitude that's going to make all the difference. That's the reason why the Chicago Cubs won the World Series this year. That's the reason why that Seattle team won the championship for Major League Soccer. I mean, Toronto FC threw everything at them, and yet they came on top because they were the underdogs too, because they came back from being in last place to taking control of their league, and they got into the final. They had made all the mistakes, all right? And then they started leaving them behind and started believing in themselves. So that's how it works. That's how it always works. And that's why sports is such a great analogy for the way each one of us can live our lives. So in closing, I want to wish you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I'll be back early in the new year. In the meantime, I want you to be part of a movement to change the way we think, about brain injury. Because the brain is plastic, and it can change, and we can change it on purpose, we can change it consciously. It's the only organ that we can do this with. The most important thing that you must know is that the brain is plastic and we can change it. But you've got to change it for the better. And that's why Hope for Millions is so important. Hope for Millions with brain injury is so important because it's about changing the way we think about the brain as individuals and as society. Please go to GoFundMe.com. Look for me up there, Hope for Millions with Brain Injury, and please donate today. Make a difference, because we can change our brains. It's the only organ that we can change the brain. It's the only organ that we can change for sure, consciously and for the better. Or we can decide to just live in the past and keep going and suffering the way we are today. So make the change. Go to GoFundMe.com, Hope for Millions with Brain Injury. Again, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Donate today. Bye.